Hey there, everyone. It's Farman. It's been a few days, and my last video got nearly 50 views. I'm honestly grateful, even though 50 may not seem like a lot to some people. That's like a full movie theater, and so I'm grateful. I wanted to make an update video on my game, in which I finally managed to code an enemy slime and give him a health bar, and the ability to die, which may not seem like a lot, but this took me almost half a day due to some issues with my script. But we're making progress, and I'm happy with my work so far. I've also made it so that the camera of the player only tracks up to the map and doesn't extend beyond it, which is also something that took me a while to code. I swear, the more I code, the more I grow to appreciate game developers and how much effort it takes to make even a basic game. I also wanted to talk about something else I've been dealing with in my life aside from game developing, and that's an extreme lack of self confidence. You know, when I was a kid and even into my teen years, I was always obese, and it gave me an extreme lack of self confidence. And I mean, an extreme lack of self confidence. I wasn't just too shy to talk to people, I was too nervous to do anything, to try new things, to wear good clothes, to even smile. And every day in school, I'd sit in a corner, minding my own business, not even looking up from my desk. I basically conditioned myself to not even look people in the eyes and to walk with a hunched back because I was worried I was taking up too much space, so I'd come off as arrogant. Even talking to people was too much because I was worried, what if they don't like me? I'd have thoughts like that when I was a child, all the way up till I was 17 or 18, and even now some of those thoughts still linger in the back of my head. I remember clothes not fitting, or even buying clothes that were a size or two bigger than me, so people couldn't make out the way I looked. I hated my body, and it made me feel like so insecure. I was always put down by people because of the way I looked, whether it was friends or family. I'd laugh it off as a joke most of the time, but sometimes those remarks would sting. I grew up with only a mother, and I remember every time we get into an argument, she'd call out the way I look, whether it was for me being obese, me not looking good. It's funny, I got hit by her a lot too, but I can look back and laugh at those moments because the physical wounds heal. It's only the verbal abuse that stings me even years later. And I was riddled with insecurities and disgust with myself my whole life. I never tried new things. I never tried new hobbies that I may have ended up liking. I never tried dancing and playing a guitar, which are all things that I at some point had an interest in. And I simply threw them out the window because of my insecurities. And the worst part is, most of it was in my head. I look around now and I see people that look the way I used to, enjoy their life, and have a bunch of friends and people that care for them. And I realize most of my insecurities are in my head. I believe when I was 17, I finally convinced my mom to get me a gym membership, and I started to lose weight, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I remember being so nervous that I always have an oversized t-shirt on to hide the way I looked. I think I was around 260 pounds at 183 centimeters when I started going to the gym. From there to I'm at 165 pounds today, and it has changed me completely. In fact, I'm confident if I hadn't started back then, I would have been morbidly obese today. Losing weight, the effort and the patience that went into it, all of that gave me the confidence to look people in the eyes. It gave me the confidence to try new clothes. I remember at some point I didn't even bother trying on a different pair of reading glasses when I was younger because I was too embarrassed the way I looked. I'd given up on looking good, but shedding the weight gave me the confidence to be me again. It gave me the confidence to look people in the eyes and do things I would have never done before. And if you're in the position I was in, thinking it's hopeless for your looks, it's never over, and you may not be able to look like a model, but you can look better than you did yesterday. Even small changes add up after a while. I got the confidence to try out new hairstyles, and I remember the first time I grew my hair out, I was still kind of shy, So I'd walk outside with my hand over my hair to hide it. It's been a long journey since then, and I can confidently say I don't mind the way I look anymore. Even though I believe I still have some work to do now, I know it's possible to change, and I like the way I look now. I remember even as a child, I thought, "Oh, I'd lose the weight when I grow up," and I told people around me that. And for many times, I said that I was laughed at and mocked and berated by family and even by friends were saying I'm gonna change the way I looked. But they're all outside voices. They'll never influence my internal monologue again, and they'll never change the way I see myself. Even if the whole world calls me a loser, if I don't believe I'm a loser, then I'm not a loser. Because in the end, they don't know me. Even my own parents, they don't know the thoughts in my head. They don't know the things I like and I dislike, the way I see the world, you know? The only thing that can affect someone, and the reason people get affected by insults, is because they let it seep into their mind. Because there is some truth to those insults. When people used to insult me about my weight, I used to get upset about it because there was some truth to it. And I can recognize that now. Only after I lost the weight, only after I got over that version of myself, I can recognize the reason I was so insecure and the reason I was so upset about these jokes that people would make about me is because there was some truth to it, you know? And now I'm not that insecure fat child anymore. I can see things differently and I can see things in third person now. Recently, I also started learning to fight. I've been doing jiu-jitsu and judo. And honestly, if I never lost the weight, I would have never had the confidence to show up for that. I got the confidence to speak to people. And even though I'm nervous, I can muster up the confidence to do so. And I'm proud of myself for coming this far. Judo and jiu-jitsu and fighting in general gave me a different type of confidence. Losing weight gave me confidence in my looks and my body, and fighting gave me confidence in my ability to do things, in myself. I think I'll make another video about this, but learning to fight gave me the ability to confront my fears. I still get scared and nervous, but now I can face that fear. And I think everybody should have a fight at least once with another person. Whether it's a competition, whether it's boxing, Muay Thai, whether it's a grappling art like wrestling or jiu-jitsu. I think some sort of fight where you're pitted against another person. And even if you lose, you develop the confidence to stand up for yourself, which I never had and I'm still working on. Fighting gave me more than confidence. It gave me the ability to admit that I'm afraid. I'm no longer afraid to admit that I get scared of things. I get scared of people, of social situations, because mentally I'm an anxious wreck. But when I remember the things I've been through, the things I've done, it gives me a different type of confidence. Before learning to fight, even though I'd lost a lot of weight and I looked alright, I couldn't muster up the courage to talk to people. I always wanted to be alone, but doing new things, meeting new people, talking to these people, it slowly reshaped who I am and what I am. And I feel the way to gain confidence in something is by just doing it. If you're not confident in your ability to talk to people, the way to fix it is just talk to more people. If you're not confident in your ability to swim, you should go out there and learn to swim. You will fail at first, but you slowly develop the ability and the confidence to do so. And the confidence comes from the repetitions you do. I feel fighting is almost therapeutic for me, When I step onto the mat, when I spar people, all the nervousness, all the tension from my life disappears, Because I'm only focused on beating the opponent in front of me. I won't lie to you, my favorite part of the day is sparring, I almost can't live without it. I used to dread being afraid. The simplest things, talking to people, even friends, even talking to my own friends sometimes, would make me feel so nervous inside. And now I can look back and laugh at myself for ever feeling that way because I know those thoughts were only in my head. And even now, when I feel fear, I think the feeling of fear is a good thing, because fear pushes me to do something. It pushes me to move forward. And when that fear makes you act, it's not fear anymore. You give that feeling and that emotion a different name. You call it courage.